Audiobook The Reservoir Codex by the Third Library. Introduction. The Draining Battery. You wake up exhausted. You slept 8 hours, maybe 9. You drank water before bed, took your supplements, avoided the blue light. You did everything the wellness gurus told you to do. Yet when the alarm sounds, you feel like you've been awake all night. Your body is heavy. Your mind is foggy. You reach for the coffee like a drowning man reaches for a life raft. This is not fatigue. This is depletion. There is a difference, and understanding this difference will change everything. The modern world tells you the problem is input. Not enough sleep, not enough vitamins, not enough superfoods or adaptogens or biohacks. So you pour more in. You optimize your morning routine, you buy the expensive mattress, you track your REM cycles, you drink the green sludge, and still you wake up empty. Why? Because the problem was never the input. The problem is the output. You are leaking. Imagine a bucket. A beautiful handcrafted wooden bucket. Now imagine that bucket is riddled with holes, tiny holes. Some you can see, most you cannot. You stand at the well, drawing water, pouring it in again and again. You work harder, you pour faster, but the bucket never fills. This is your life. You're not tired. You are hemorrhaging vitality through 1,000 invisible wounds. This is the fundamental error of our age. We treat exhaustion as a deficit when it is actually a drainage problem. We seek more fuel when what we need is better containment. The human being is not a machine that runs on input alone. We are vessels, reservoirs, batteries, and every vessel has a capacity. Every battery has a charge. When you leak faster than you fill, no amount of input will save you. The Reservoir Codex is not another self-help manual. It is not another productivity hack or wellness trend. It is a diagnostic manual for the human energy system. It is the blueprint for identifying where you are bleeding power and how to seal the wounds. Because once you stop the leakage, something miraculous happens. The reservoir begins to fill. Pressure builds. Voltage accumulates. You become a capacitor of raw potential. Most people live their entire lives at 30% capacity. They think this is normal. They think exhaustion is the price of adulthood. They medicate with caffeine and distraction and fleeting pleasures. They never stop to ask the fundamental question, where is it all going? Every morning you wake with a full tank. By noon you are running on fumes. Where did the energy go? Did you build something? Did you create something? Did you move toward your vision? Or did you just bleed it out through 1,000 tiny cuts? The ancient traditions knew this. The Taoists spoke of Jing, the vital essence that must be conserved. The yogis spoke of ojas, the subtle energy that must be cultivated and protected. The alchemists spoke of the sealed vessel, the container that allows base metal to transform into gold. They all understood what we have forgotten. Power is not about accumulation. It is about conservation. It is about building pressure in a sealed system until transformation becomes inevitable. This is not esoteric philosophy. This is physics. A battery with a short circuit will never hold a charge. A tire with a slow leak will always be flat. A dam with cracks cannot create hydroelectric power. The same laws govern your energy system. You can pour in all the fuel you want, but if the vessel is compromised, you will never achieve critical mass. You will never overflow. You will simply exist in a state of constant depletion, wondering why everyone else seems to have something you do not. They call it charisma. They call it presence. They call it magnetism. What they are actually sensing is a full reservoir. These people have sealed their vessels. They have identified their leaks and cauterized the wounds. They do not spend their power on trivia. They do not bleed out through screens and drama and indecision. They hoard their energy like dragons hoard gold. And when they do spend it, they spend it with precision, with intention, with devastating effect. You have been conditioned to be a leaky bucket. The entire architecture of modern life is designed to keep you drained. The attention economy runs on your depletion. The entertainment industrial complex feeds on your exhaustion. Social media platforms are optimized to siphon your emotional energy. News cycles are calibrated to trigger your stress response. You are being farmed. Your vitality is the crop, and you have been taught to call this farming staying informed or staying connected. The Reservoir Codex will teach you to see the siphons. It will show you where the holes are. Some are obvious, Most are invisible. They have become so normalized that you think they are just part of being alive. The constant checking, the endless scrolling, the drama consumption, the scattered attention, the sexual dissipation, the decision fatigue, the slouched posture, the compulsive explaining. Each one is a crack in the vessel. Each one bleeds you dry. This manual is structured as a diagnostic, followed by a protocol. Each chapter identifies a specific leak and provides the seal. This is not theory. This is practical metaphysics. This is how you plug the holes. This is how you build pressure. This is how you transform from a leaky bucket into a pressurized chamber. This is how you go from depleted to overflowing. Understand this clearly. You do not need more energy. You need to stop throwing away what you have. The average person wastes enough power in a single day to fuel a week of focused creative work. They just do not see it. They do not track it. They do not value it. They treat their attention like monopoly money. They spend their emotional energy like it is infinite, and then they wonder why they are broke. The work ahead requires one thing above all: vigilance. You must become aware of where your power goes. You must track it like a forensic accountant tracks money. Every notification you answer, every scroll session you indulge, every drama you absorb, every decision you agonize over, every word you speak, every posture you hold. All of it either seals the vessel or cracks it wider. There is no neutral. You are either conserving or dissipating. You are either building pressure or bleeding out. When you seal the vessel, something happens that modern psychology cannot explain. Power accumulates. Voltage builds. You begin to feel a humming in your core, a magnetism, a gravitational pull. Other people sense it, even if they cannot name it. You walk differently. You speak differently. You command attention without demanding it. This is not confidence. Confidence is mental. This is resonance. This is what happens when the reservoir is full and the overflow begins. The Reservoir Codex is your manual for this transformation. Read it slowly. Implement it ruthlessly. Treat your energy like the precious resource it is. Stop asking for more and start protecting what you have. Plug the leaks. Fill the reservoir. Become a force of nature. This is the work. This is the path. This is the Codex. Chapter 1. Attention is currency. We have a phrase in the English language that reveals a profound economic truth. We say, pay attention, not give attention, not share attention. Pay, as in transaction, as in cost, as in something of value that changes hands. Your attention is not free. It is the most valuable currency you possess, and every moment of every day you are spending it. The question is, what are you buying with it? Most people declare bankruptcy by 10 in the morning. They wake up with a full account and immediately start writing checks, email, news, social media, messages, notifications. Each one is a withdrawal. Each one extracts a piece of your limited cognitive capital. By the time you sit down to do actual work, the account is overdrawn. You have spent your wealth on garbage, and you wonder why you cannot afford greatness. Attention is not an abstract concept. It is a finite resource. Neuroscience has proven this. Your prefrontal cortex, the seat of executive function, can only handle so much. When you scatter your attention across dozens of inputs, you fragment your processing power. You become weak everywhere because you are strong nowhere. This is not a metaphor. This is measurable cognitive load. This is your brain's RAM being consumed by too many open tabs. The attention economy understands what you do not. Your attention is worth billions. Every tech company, every media platform, every advertiser is fighting for seconds of your gaze. They hire neuroscientists and behavioral psychologists to engineer addiction. They A/B test colors and sounds and notification patterns to maximize engagement. Engagement is just another word for extraction. They are mining your attention like gold from a mountain, and they are getting rich while you get poor. Consider the mathematics. You have roughly 16 waking hours per day. If you spend 3 hours on social media, 2 hours on news and entertainment, 1 hour on email, and another hour on various interruptions and distractions, you have just spent nearly half your waking life on consumption rather than creation. You have spent 7 hours paying attention to other people's priorities, other people's products, other people's dramas. What is left for your vision? What is left for your work? What is left for your empire? The ruthless truth is this: you cannot build anything significant with scattered attention. Creation requires sustained focus. Deep work requires uninterrupted blocks of concentration. Every time you context switch, every time you check your phone, every time you respond to a notification, you pay a switching cost. Studies show it takes an average of 23 minutes to regain full focus after an interruption. Do the math. If you are interrupted 10 times in a day, you have lost nearly 4 hours to cognitive recovery time alone. But the cost goes deeper than time. Attention is the raw material of reality creation. Where you place your attention, energy flows. Where energy flows, matter forms. This is not mysticism. This is the observer effect in quantum mechanics. This is neuroplasticity. This is the proven fact that what you focus on literally rewires your brain and shapes your perception of reality. When you spend your attention on fear, drama, and negativity, you are sculpting a reality of fear, drama, and negativity. When you spend it on your vision, your craft, your growth, you sculpt something entirely different. The ancient yogis called it pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses. The Stoics called it prosoche, attention to the present moment. The Buddhists call it shamatha, calm abiding. Every wisdom tradition has recognized that attention is the gateway to power. Control your attention, and you control your experience. Lose your attention, and you become a leaf blown by every wind, a boat tossed by every wave. You are no longer the author of your life. You are an extra in everyone else's story. Think about the people you admire, the creators, the builders, the visionaries. What do they all have in common? They guard their attention like a fortress. They are not on social media every day. They do not watch the news. They do not engage with drama. They do not scatter themselves across a dozen platforms and 100 conversations. They focus, they go deep. They say no to everything that does not serve their mission. This is not antisocial behavior. This is strategic conservation. You must begin to see every request for your attention as what it truly is, a request for your life force. When someone says, "Can I have a minute?" they are not asking for time, they are asking for energy. When a notification pings, it is not just information, it is a bill. When you scroll a feed, you are not relaxing. You are working for free, generating engagement data, feeding algorithms, enriching shareholders. You are paying with your attention and receiving nothing of value in return. The shift begins with awareness. For one day, track where your attention goes. Every time you check your phone, write it down. Every time you open a browser tab, note it. Every time you engage with content that is not directly related to your goals, mark it. At the end of the day, total it up. You will be shocked. Most people discover they are spending 6 to 8 hours per day on activities they claim they do not have time for. The time is there. The attention is there. It is just being bled out through invisible wounds. The next level is triage. You must categorize every attention expenditure as either investment or expense. Investment generates returns, reading to learn, practicing your craft, building relationships that matter, creating content, solving problems. These activities compound. They pay dividends. Expenses, on the other hand, are pure consumption, scrolling, gossip, outrage porn, entertainment that teaches you nothing, drama that involves you in no way. These activities extract value and return nothing. They are attention bankruptcy in action. Once you see the difference, you can implement the discipline. Treat your attention like money. Budget it, allocate it, protect it. Say no to requests that do not align with your priorities. Turn off notifications. Delete apps that farm your engagement. Create barriers between yourself and distraction. Use airplane mode. Use website blockers. Make it hard to waste your attention and easy to invest it wisely. This is not restriction. This is liberation. You are liberating your power from the parasites that feed on it. The transformation is remarkable. When you stop bleeding attention, you start building capacity. Your focus deepens, your work improves, your creativity expands. Ideas come more easily, because your mental RAM is no longer consumed by 1,000 background processes. You think more clearly because your cognitive load is manageable. You feel more energized because you are not constantly hemorrhaging your life force through the screen. This is the foundation. Everything else in the Codex builds on this. If you cannot control where your attention goes, you cannot seal any other leak. Attention is the master key. It is the currency with which all other currencies are purchased. Guard it ruthlessly. Spend it wisely, invest it strategically. This is the first seal. This is where the reservoir begins to fill. Chapter 2. The Digital Vampires. The smartphone in your pocket is not a tool. It is a siphon. A digital vampire that feeds on your emotional energy and excretes dopamine crumbs to keep you coming back for more. Every app is optimized for one purpose: maximum extraction of your attention and emotion. They call it engagement. They measure it in daily active users and session length and scroll depth. What they are really measuring is how effectively they are harvesting your life force. The algorithm is not neutral. It is not showing you content randomly. It is conducting an experiment. Every post you see is a probe designed to elicit a response. Anger, fear, lust, envy, outrage. The algorithm learns what triggers you and serves you more of it. Why? Because emotion is engagement. Engagement is data. Data is money. You are not the customer. You are the product. Your emotional reactivity is being commodified and sold to advertisers. This is not conspiracy theory. This is business model. The internal documents from these companies are public. Facebook's own research showed that Instagram makes teenage girls feel worse about themselves, and they kept the platform unchanged because engagement did not drop. YouTube's recommendation algorithm was found to radicalize users by suggesting increasingly extreme content, and they kept it because watch time increased. TikTok's endless scroll is engineered to create a hypnotic state where time disappears. These are not accidents. These are features. The mechanism is ancient. It is called Loosh farming. Robert Monroe, the out-of-body experience researcher, coined this term to describe the harvesting of human emotional energy by non-physical entities. Whether you believe in entities or not, the principle applies perfectly to digital platforms. They create conditions that generate intense emotion, then they harvest that emotion in the form of engagement data. You feel anger, you comment. You feel fear, you share. You feel envy, you scroll for more. Every emotional reaction is a transaction. You give energy, they take profit. The cost is staggering. Studies show that the average person checks their phone over 100 times per day. Each check creates a cortisol spike, a stress response, a fight or flight activation. Your nervous system does not distinguish between a notification and a physical threat. It responds the same way. You are living in a state of chronic, low-grade emergency. Your adrenals are fried. Your baseline anxiety is elevated. You cannot relax because your body thinks it is under constant assault. Because it is. The assault is digital, but the damage is physiological. Then there is the dopamine depletion. Every like, every comment, every notification triggers a small dopamine hit. Your brain learns to crave this. But dopamine is not unlimited. You have a daily budget. When you blow it all on cheap hits from social media, you have nothing left for real accomplishment. This is why you cannot focus on hard work after a scroll session. Your dopamine is depleted. Your motivation is gone. You have spent your reward currency on empty calories. The content itself is poison. News is engineered to trigger fear. Fear keeps you watching. Social media is engineered to trigger comparison. Comparison keeps you scrolling. Pornography is engineered to trigger arousal without satisfaction. This keeps you seeking more. In every case, the pattern is the same. Trigger an emotion, provide insufficient resolution, create a hunger for more stimulation. You are being conditioned like a lab rat, pressing the lever for pellets that never satisfy. Consider the attention span collapse. 30 years ago, the average person could focus for 12 minutes. Today, it is 8 seconds. Goldfish can focus for 9. We have been trained to need constant stimulation. A single task is boring. Silence is uncomfortable. Stillness is intolerable. We need the feed, we need the scroll, we need the ping. This is not preference, this is addiction. And like all addictions, it escalates. You need more content, more extreme content, more frequent hits just to feel normal. The social comparison mechanism is particularly insidious. You see curated highlight reels of other people's lives and compare them to your unedited reality. You see their vacations, their accomplishments, their bodies, their relationships. You do not see their struggles, their failures, their editing process, their filters. This creates a perception gap. Everyone else seems to be winning while you are struggling. This is by design. Envy drives engagement. Inadequacy drives consumption. If you felt sufficient, you would log off. They cannot allow that. Then there is the outrage economy. Platforms have learned that nothing drives engagement like moral outrage, so they show you content designed to infuriate you. Political extremism, social injustice, hypocrisy, stupidity. You see something that violates your values and you must respond. You must correct it. You must share it to warn others. And in doing so, you become a node in the outrage network. You amplify the very content that is poisoning you. You become a vampire yourself, spreading the infection. The solution is not moderation. You cannot moderately consume poison and expect health. The solution is quarantine. Treat your phone like a radioactive substance. Useful in controlled doses, lethal in constant exposure. Implement what we call the digital fast. Remove all social media apps from your phone. If you must use them, access them only from a desktop computer at scheduled times. This creates friction. Friction creates choice. Choice creates sovereignty. Establish phone-free zones. No phones in the bedroom, no phones at meals, no phones in the first hour after waking. These are sacred spaces where your attention belongs to you, not to the algorithm. Use a real alarm clock, use a real camera, use real books, reclaim the analog. Every digital convenience is a potential siphon. Ask yourself, does this tool serve me or do I serve it? Practice the notification purge. Turn off every notification except direct calls and messages from people you actually know. You do not need to know when someone likes your photo. You do not need to know when there is breaking news. You do not need to know when there is a sale or an update or a trend. All of this is bait. All of this is designed to interrupt your focus and redirect your attention to the platform. Silence it. Let the world spin without your constant monitoring. Implement the scroll audit. Before you open any app, ask yourself, what am I looking for? If the answer is nothing in particular or I'm just bored, close the app. Boredom is not an emergency. Boredom is fertile ground. Every creative breakthrough, every insight, every original thought emerges from boredom. When you medicate boredom with stimulation, you abort the creative process before it begins. Learn to sit with the discomfort. Let the boredom transmute into something useful. The final practice is the content fast. 1 day per week, consume no digital content. No social media, no news, no videos, no articles. If you need information, read a book. If you need entertainment, go outside. If you need connection, talk to a human face to face. This weekly fast resets your dopamine baseline. It reminds your nervous system what peace feels like. It breaks the conditioning loop. At first, it will feel like withdrawal, because it is. That is how you know it is working. Understand what you are up against. These platforms employ thousands of engineers with PhDs in behavioral psychology. They run millions of A/B tests. They have infinite resources and one goal: keep you engaged. You are one person with finite willpower. If you try to fight them on their turf, you will lose. The only winning move is not to play. Unplug the siphon. Step out of the vampire's reach. Reclaim your emotional energy as your own. When you stop feeding the algorithm, something miraculous happens. You start feeling again. Real feelings, not manufactured outrage. You start thinking again. Original thoughts, not recycled opinions. You start creating again. Real value, not performative content. You realize how much of your life you were giving away for free. How much energy you were hemorrhaging into the void. The reservoir begins to fill. The pressure begins to build. You remember what it feels like to be full. This is the second seal. The digital vampires lose their hold, the screen loses its power, you become immune to the siphon. You take back the energy that was being stolen, and you redirect it toward your own vision. You stop being farmed and start being free. This is the liberation. This is the reclamation. This is how you seal the leak and fill the reservoir. Chapter 3. The Open Loops. Your mind is a computer. It has processing power, memory, and storage. And just like a computer, it slows down when too many programs are running at once. Every unfinished task, every unreplied email, every broken promise, every half-done project is an open program consuming your mental RAM. You might not see the processes running in the background, but they are there. They are draining your battery. They are clogging your system. They are the reason you feel scattered, anxious, and unable to focus on the task in front of you. This phenomenon is called the Zeigarnik Effect, named after psychologist Bloomer Zeigarnik, who discovered that people remember uncompleted tasks better than completed ones. Your brain does not like loose ends. It tries to keep track of everything you have started but not finished. This requires energy, cognitive energy, emotional energy, the energy you need for deep work, for creativity, for presence. When you have too many open loops, your mind is constantly juggling, constantly checking, constantly reminding you of everything you have not done. This is not helpful. This is exhausting. Think about your current mental load. How many texts have you left unread? How many emails sit in your inbox awaiting response? How many projects have you started and abandoned? How many promises have you made to yourself that you have not kept? How many conversations have ended without resolution? Each one is a tab left open in your browser. Each one is consuming resources. You wonder why you cannot concentrate, why you feel overwhelmed, why you lack energy. It is because half your processing power is devoted to maintaining these open loops. The anxiety you feel is not abstract. It is computational strain. Your brain is trying to run 50 programs simultaneously, and it does not have the bandwidth. So it slows down, it crashes, it freezes. You call this stress or overwhelm or burnout. What it actually is, system overload. Too many processes. Insufficient resources. The solution is not to increase your capacity. The solution is to close the loops. Kill the unnecessary processes. Free up the RAM. Consider the phenomenon of the Sunday evening anxiety. You have spent the weekend procrastinating. You have pushed tasks forward. You have avoided difficult conversations. You have left things undone. Now Sunday evening arrives and your nervous system kicks into panic mode. Why? Because your subconscious is doing the math. It knows Monday is coming. It knows all those open loops are still there, waiting. It knows you do not have enough bandwidth to handle them all. This creates physiological stress. Cortisol spikes, sleep quality tanks. You start the week already depleted. The open loop manifests in multiple forms. Unfinished tasks are the obvious ones. But there are subtler versions. Unresolved conflicts, ambiguous relationships, unclear boundaries, unmade decisions. Every time you avoid making a choice, every time you leave something in limbo, you create an open loop. Your mind cannot rest because it cannot file the issue away. It has to keep it active, keep monitoring it, keep using energy to maintain awareness of it. This is why indecisive people are always exhausted. They are running at maximum capacity, just managing their uncertainty. The email inbox is a perfect case study. For many people, the inbox is a graveyard of open loops, emails from months ago that still require a response, messages flagged for follow-up that never happened, subscriptions they meant to unsubscribe from, spam they meant to delete. Every time they open their email, they see this pile of unfinished business, and their nervous system registers it as threat. Not a physical threat, but a cognitive one. Too much to do. Not enough time. This triggers the stress response. The stress response burns energy. The energy depletion creates fatigue. The protocol is simple, but requires discipline. Every open loop must be addressed with one of three actions. Do it, delegate it, or delete it. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Do not defer it. Do not save it for later. Knock it out now and close the loop. If it takes longer than 2 minutes but must be done, schedule it. Put it in your calendar with a specific time block. This removes it from the open loop pile and converts it into a closed commitment. Your brain can relax because it knows when this will be handled. If the task can be delegated, delegate it immediately. Do not hold on to tasks that someone else can handle simply because you have not taken the time to pass them along. Delegation is not weakness, it is strategic resource allocation. Your high-value work should consume your attention. Everything else should be delegated or eliminated. The moment you pass a task to someone else, you close the loop in your own system. Their system is not your concern. Your bandwidth is your concern. If the task does not need to be done at all, delete it ruthlessly. Most open loops are not actually important. They are accumulated debris, old commitments that no longer serve you. Projects you started when you were a different person with different priorities. Obligations you took on out of guilt or people-pleasing. Look at each one honestly and ask, does this matter? Does this serve my mission? Does this deserve my limited bandwidth? If the answer is no, close the tab. Delete the email. Cancel the commitment. Reclaim the RAM. The broken promise is a particularly toxic open loop. Every time you tell yourself you are going to do something and then do not do it, you create a credibility gap with yourself. Your subconscious stops trusting your conscious commitments. This leads to internal resistance. When you decide to do something difficult, your subconscious whispers, "Sure you will," just like all the other times. This self-doubt burns energy. It creates friction. It makes every action harder because you are fighting your own internal skepticism. The cure is integrity. Do what you say you are going to do. If you make a commitment to yourself, honor it. If you realize you cannot honor it, officially release yourself from it. Do not let it linger in limbo. Make a conscious choice to close the loop. Say out loud, "I am no longer doing this." This sounds trivial, but it is powerful. It gives your subconscious permission to stop tracking that open loop. The mental RAM is freed. The anxiety reduces. The weekly review is essential infrastructure for maintaining closed loops. Every Sunday, audit your open loops. Go through your inbox. Go through your task list. Go through your commitments. Ask yourself, what is still open? What needs to be closed? What can be closed right now? Spend 1 hour doing rapid loop closure. Reply to emails. Make decisions. Cancel plans that are not going to happen. Delete projects that are dead. This weekly maintenance prevents the accumulation of cognitive debt. Physical clutter is an externalization of open loops. Every pile of papers is unfinished business. Every box in the garage is a decision deferred. Every closet full of clothes you do not wear is a project you have not completed. The physical environment mirrors the mental environment. When you clear the physical clutter, you close external loops, which reduces the cognitive load. This is why cleaning is therapeutic. You are not just organizing objects. You are closing loops. You are freeing RAM. The same principle applies to relationships. Unresolved conflicts are massive open loops. That argument you never finished. That apology you never gave or received. That boundary you never set. These consume enormous energy because they involve emotion, not just cognition. They sit in your system creating chronic low-grade stress. You avoid that person. You ruminate on what you should have said. You rehearse future confrontations. All of this is energy hemorrhaging out through an unresolved loop. The practice of closure requires courage. It means having the difficult conversation. It means ending the relationship that is not serving you. It means saying what needs to be said even when it is uncomfortable. It means apologizing when you were wrong and demanding accountability when you were wronged. It means drawing clear lines instead of living in ambiguity. This is hard. But hard is cheaper than the ongoing energy cost of an open loop. Pay the price once and close the loop, or pay the price forever in a slow drain of vitality. When you master the art of closure, you experience a profound lightness. Your mind is no longer juggling. Your nervous system is no longer in chronic alert. You can focus on the present moment because the past is resolved and the future is scheduled. You have bandwidth for deep work, for creativity, for presence with the people you love. This is not just productivity. This is peace. This is the feeling of a system running efficiently instead of crashing constantly. This is the third seal. Close the loops. Finish what you start or consciously choose not to start it. Make decisions instead of deferring them. Resolve conflicts instead of avoiding them. Clear the backlog, free the RAM. Let your mind run clean and fast and powerful. This is how you stop the leak. This is how you reclaim your processing power. This is how the reservoir fills. Chapter 4: The Drama Tax. There is an energetic law that most people discover too late. Listening is a transaction. When someone tells you their problems, they are not just sharing information. They are transferring weight. They arrive burdened and they leave lighter. You arrive open and you leave heavy. This is not metaphor. This is measurable. Mirror neurons fire. Cortisol transfers. Emotional states are contagious. When you listen to someone's drama, you absorb their stress into your own nervous system. They get relief. You get depleted. The chronic complainer is an energy vampire of the highest order. They do not want solutions. They want an audience. They want someone to witness their suffering, to validate their victimhood, to confirm that yes, the world is terrible and they are powerless. If you offer solutions, they will explain why nothing will work. If you offer perspective, they will defend their misery. They are not coming to you for help. They are coming to you for a transfusion. They need to offload their emotional garbage, and you are the dump. Most people fall into this trap out of compassion. You care about this person, you want to help, so you listen, you empathize. You absorb their pain as if doing so might reduce it. But it does not work that way. Their pain does not divide when shared. It multiplies. Now two people are carrying it instead of one. And the original carrier often feels entitled to return for more deposits because you have proven yourself to be a receptive vessel. You become their emotional sewage system. The drama tax is not limited to direct conversations. It extends to the media you consume and the groups you participate in. Every time you read an outrage article, every time you watch a documentary about injustice, every time you scroll through social media arguments, you are paying the drama tax. These stories trigger your empathy, your anger, your sense of unfairness. You feel compelled to care. But caring without action is just emotional bleeding. You are spending your energy on problems you cannot solve, involving people you will never meet, in situations over which you have zero control. Consider the architecture of news media. They have learned that negativity sells, fear sells, outrage sells. So they curate a steady stream of disaster, conflict and injustice. They call it staying informed. What they are actually doing is farming your stress response. Every negative story triggers cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. Chronic cortisol exposure leads to inflammation, anxiety, depression, and immune suppression. You are literally making yourself sick by consuming their product, and they profit from your declining health. The social justice trap is particularly insidious for empathetic people. You see suffering and you feel obligated to bear witness. You see injustice and you feel compelled to signal your awareness. You see causes and you feel guilty if you are not activated. But here is the truth. Your emotional distress does not reduce anyone else's suffering. Your outrage does not create justice. Your awareness does not solve the problem. What it does do is drain your reservoir so thoroughly that you have nothing left to create actual change in the spheres where you do have influence. There is a difference between compassion and absorption. Compassion sees suffering and responds with helpful action or appropriate boundaries. Absorption sees suffering and takes it into your own system, carrying it around like a backpack full of rocks. Compassion says, I see your pain and I will help if I can, or I will hold space without taking it on. Absorption says, your pain is now my pain and I will carry it for you. One is sustainable. One is suicidal. The sympathy shield is not callousness. It is discernment. It is the recognition that you cannot save everyone, you cannot fix every problem, and trying to do so will only destroy your capacity to help anyone. The sympathy shield does not mean you do not care. It means you care strategically. You care in ways that preserve your energy so you can sustain your caring over time. You become a lighthouse, not a sponge. A lighthouse stands firm and emits light. A sponge absorbs everything and eventually becomes saturated and useless. The protocol begins with boundaries. When someone comes to you with a problem, before you engage, ask yourself, is this my problem to solve? Do I have the capacity to help? Is this person actually seeking help or just dumping? If the answer to these questions is no, you must set a boundary. This does not mean you abandon people. It means you protect your reservoir so you can be genuinely helpful to those who are ready to receive help. The boundary can be gentle, but must be firm. I care about you, but I do not have the emotional capacity to hold this right now. I hear that you are struggling, but I am not the right person to help with this. I can offer you one specific action that might help, but I cannot be your regular outlet for this issue. These statements are not cruel, they are honest, and honesty is kinder than false availability that leads to resentment and depletion. Learn to recognize the red flags. The person who only calls when they need something. The person who never asks how you are doing. The person who responds to your boundaries with guilt trips or accusations of not caring. These are not relationships. These are energy extractions, masquerading as friendship. You are not obligated to continue these. You are allowed to prune your social circle of people who only take and never give. This is not selfishness. This is self-preservation. The solution orientation is crucial. When someone brings you a problem, listen for 30 seconds and then ask, what are you going to do about it? This question shifts the dynamic. It makes them the agent, not the victim. It requires them to engage their own problem-solving capacity instead of outsourcing it to you. Most complainers will recoil from this question. They do not want to do anything. They want to complain. Your refusal to enable their complaining is actually the most helpful thing you can do. You are forcing them to access their own power. The news fast is non-negotiable. Stop consuming news. You do not need to know about every disaster. You do not need to be updated on every conflict. You do not need to track every political scandal. If something is truly important and requires your action, you will hear about it through your immediate network. Everything else is just entertainment disguised as information. It is drama porn, and it is taxing your reservoir every single day. Curate your inputs ruthlessly. Unfollow social media accounts that post drama, outrage, or negativity. Unsubscribe from email lists that traffic in fear and urgency. Leave group chats that devolve into complaining and gossip. You do not need to announce your departure or explain yourself. Just quietly remove yourself from the drama streams. Your nervous system will thank you. Your energy will return. You will realize how much bandwidth you are spending on other people's chaos. The practice of energetic hygiene is essential. After any interaction that involves heavy emotion or drama, cleanse your field. Take a shower and visualize washing away the energy. Go outside and let the wind clear your aura. Sit in silence and breathe out anything that is not yours. Sound woo? Try it anyway. Your body knows the difference between your energy and absorbed energy. Give it permission to release what does not belong to it. The ultimate realization is this: you are not responsible for other people's emotional states. You are not required to carry their burdens. You are not obligated to fix their problems. Your compassion does not require your depletion. You can care from a distance. You can offer help without absorbing pain. You can be kind without being consumed. This is maturity. This is sovereignty. This is the fourth seal. When you stop paying the drama tax, you will be shocked at how much energy you reclaim. You will feel lighter, clearer, more present. You will have bandwidth for your own growth, your own creativity, your own vision. You will stop being a dumping ground for other people's unresolved trauma and start being a generator of your own power. This is not coldness, this is clarity. This is how you fill the reservoir instead of bleeding it dry. Chapter 5. The Sexual Leak. Sexual energy is the most potent force in the human system. The ancients knew this. The Taoists called it Jing, the vital essence. The yogis called it ojas, the subtle vigor. The alchemists called it the prima materia, the prime substance from which all transformation occurs. Modern science calls it hormones and neurotransmitters. Different languages, same truth. Sexual energy is not just about reproduction. It is the raw fuel of creation itself. It is the voltage that powers ambition, charisma, creativity, and will. And most people are hemorrhaging it daily without realizing the cost. The sexual leak is not limited to the act itself. It begins in the mind, in the endless consumption of stimulation, in the cheap dopamine hits of pornography and lustful fantasy. Every time you indulge in sexual stimulation without genuine connection, you are writing a check your body cannot cash. You get the dopamine spike without the bonding hormones. You get the arousal without the fulfillment. Your nervous system is tricked into thinking reproduction is happening, so it releases the precious reserves of Jing. But nothing is actually created. No life, no art, no connection, just depletion. The pornography trap is particularly devastating. It hijacks the most powerful drive in your biology and redirects it toward pixels on a screen. The brain releases dopamine in anticipation of mating. But there is no mate. There is no connection. There is no energy exchange. Just a one-way extraction. You give your sexual energy to the void and receive nothing in return. Your dopamine receptors downregulate from overstimulation. Your motivation declines. Your attraction to real partners decreases. You need more extreme content to feel the same response. This is addiction architecture. Consider what happens physiologically. Sexual release, whether through intercourse or self-stimulation, triggers a cascade of hormonal changes. Prolactin surges, which suppresses dopamine and testosterone. This creates the post-orgasmic refractory period, low motivation, low energy, foggy thinking. For men, this can last hours or days depending on age and health. For women, the effect is subtler but still present. The body has spent resources it thought were needed for reproduction. When no reproduction occurs, the expenditure is pure loss. The frequency matters immensely. Daily ejaculation is energetically expensive. You are depleting reserves that take time to replenish. The Taoists recommended different retention schedules based on age. Every 4 days for men in their 20s, every 8 days for men in their 30s, and so on. They were not being prudish, they were being practical. They understood that sexual essence is a limited resource that must be conserved and strategically spent. Spending it daily is like withdrawing from a bank account faster than you deposit. Eventually, you go broke. The creative connection is direct and observable. History's great creators often practiced some form of sexual restraint. Tesla was celibate. Newton was celibate. Many artists, writers, and inventors spoke of channeling sexual energy into their work. This is not coincidence. Sexual energy and creative energy are the same energy. One produces physical offspring, the other produces intellectual or artistic offspring. When you constantly drain the energy through sexual release, you have nothing left to birth your visions into reality. This is not a moral argument. This is a pragmatic energy audit. If you are constantly depleted, constantly unmotivated, constantly struggling to build anything significant, look at your sexual behavior. Are you giving your most potent creative fuel to screens and fantasies? Are you spending your drive on cheap thrills that leave you empty? Are you mistaking orgasm for fulfillment? The momentary pleasure is not worth the sustained depletion. You are trading your power for a few seconds of stimulation. The practice of retention is ancient and cross-cultural. Brahmacharya in yoga, Jing conservation in Taoism, the Catholic priesthood's celibacy, warriors before battle abstaining from sex. Athletes before competition practicing restraint. They all understood that sexual energy is rocket fuel. When you keep the fire inside the furnace, it builds pressure. That pressure drives the engine. It fuels ambition. It amplifies charisma. It sharpens focus. People can feel it even if they cannot name it. You carry a charge, a magnetism, a presence. The transmutation process is not mystical. It is physiological. When you retain sexual energy, the body reroutes those resources. Hormones that would have been spent on reproduction are redirected to other systems. Testosterone remains elevated. Growth hormone increases. Neural plasticity improves. You literally become more capable, more energized, more alive. Your brain gets the fuel it was being deprived of. Your body operates at a higher voltage. This is not placebo. This is measurable biochemistry. The discipline required is significant. The sexual urge is hardwired. The temptation is constant. The culture encourages indulgence. You will need to create boundaries. Remove pornography completely. It has no place in the life of someone building a reservoir. Unfollow accounts that post sexualized content. Delete apps that facilitate casual sexual encounters. These are not just distractions. They are siphons actively draining your most valuable resource. Cut them out ruthlessly. The relationship between partners must be renegotiated. If you're in a committed relationship, discuss this openly. Explain that you are experimenting with retention to build creative energy. This does not mean no intimacy. It means conscious, intentional sexual expression rather than habitual release. It means sometimes choosing connection without climax. It means exploring tantric practices that circulate energy rather than expelling it. Most partners, once they understand the intention, will support the experiment, especially when they see the results. The solo practice requires even more discipline. The urge will arise. The mind will offer justifications. Just once. You deserve it. It will help you sleep. These are the voice of the leak trying to maintain itself. Recognize them as such. When the urge comes, redirect the energy. Do push-ups. Go for a run. Work on your project. The sexual energy is creative fuel. Use it to create. Do not waste it on pixels and fantasy. Train yourself to transmute the pressure into productivity. The benefits compound over time. The first week is difficult. The second week you start noticing increased energy. By the third week, your thinking is clearer. By the fourth week, people start commenting on your presence. By the eighth week, you are operating at a different voltage. Your charisma increases. Your confidence increases. Your creative output increases. You realize you have been living at 30% capacity because you were constantly depleting your primary fuel source. The occasional release within a loving, connected partnership is different. There is an energetic exchange. You give and receive. Bonding hormones flood the system. Oxytocin creates connection. The expenditure is not waste because something is built. Intimacy, trust, a shared energetic field. This is sustainable. What is not sustainable is the daily drain of solo release or casual encounters that involve no real connection. That is pure extraction with no return. The social pressure will be immense. The culture worships sexual indulgence. Sex positivity has become a mandate for constant availability and enthusiasm. Restraint is labeled as repression, but do not confuse cultural messaging with truth. The people pushing constant sexual indulgence are usually depleted themselves. They are selling you the same poison they are addicted to. Your restraint threatens their justification for their own indulgence. Ignore them. Your reservoir is not a democracy. You decide what you let in and what you let out. The ultimate test is your creative output. If you are producing at a high level, if you are energized, if you are building your vision, then your sexual practice is working. If you are depleted, unmotivated, and stuck in consumption mode, then something must change. The body does not lie. The energy levels do not lie. Use them as feedback. Adjust accordingly. Find the sustainable practice that keeps your reservoir full and your voltage high. This is the fifth seal. Keep the fire in the furnace. Transmute the sexual energy into creative power. Stop bleeding your most potent resource through screens and fantasy. Let the pressure build. Use it to forge your empire. This is not repression. This is conservation. This is alchemy. This is how you transform base arousal into golden achievement. This is how the reservoir fills to overflowing. Chapter 6. The decision fatigue. Every decision costs energy, not metaphorical energy. Actual glucose, measurable ATP consumed by your prefrontal cortex as it evaluates options, weighs consequences, and executes choices. The brain is 2% of your body weight, but consumes 20% of your energy. And the most expensive neurological process is decision-making. Every choice from trivial to significant burns fuel. When you wake up, you have a finite decision budget. The question is, how will you spend it? The average person makes 35,000 decisions per day. Most of them are completely inconsequential. What to wear, what to eat, which route to take, which task to do first, which email to answer, what to watch, what to listen to. Each one requires cognitive processing. Each one extracts a small amount of your decision budget. By the time you sit down to make important decisions, the important decisions that actually shape your life, your budget is depleted. You have spent your high-grade fuel on low-value choices. This is why discipline collapses in the evening. You were strong all day. You resisted temptation. You made good choices. Then night arrives and suddenly you crack. You eat the junk food. You scroll the phone. You skip the workout. You waste time. This is not lack of willpower. This is decision fatigue. Your prefrontal cortex has been making choices all day, and it is exhausted. It no longer has the energy to override your impulses. The primitive brain takes over and seeks immediate gratification because it is operating on fumes. The solution is not to increase your decision capacity. You cannot. The budget is biological. The solution is to reduce the number of decisions you must make. This is why every high performer has routines, not because they lack spontaneity, but because they understand that trivia should not consume premium fuel. They automate the mundane to save their decision budget for what matters. This is strategic conservation. Consider the power of the capsule wardrobe. 5 interchangeable outfits, same style, same colors. Mix and match. Get dressed in 30 seconds without thought. Steve Jobs wore the same black turtleneck every day. Mark Zuckerberg wears gray t-shirts. Obama wore only blue or gray suits. These are not fashion statements. These are cognitive optimization strategies. They eliminated one decision category entirely. The mental energy saved is redirected to running companies and countries. The same principle applies to food. Decision fatigue around meals is enormous. What to eat, when to eat, where to eat, how much to eat. Every meal is a series of micro-decisions that accumulate into substantial cognitive load. The solution is meal protocols. Eat the same breakfast every day. Have 3 go-to lunch options. Rotate through 5 dinner recipes. This is not boring. This is liberation. You are not thinking about food. You are thinking about your mission. Food becomes fuel, not entertainment. The decision minimization audit is essential. Go through your day and identify every repeated decision. What time do you wake up? How do you decide? Eliminate the decision. Set one wake time. What do you do first? Eliminate the decision. Same morning routine every day. How do you prioritize your work? Eliminate the decision. Use the same prioritization system every time. Every repeated decision that you can systematize is fuel saved for high-value choices. The binary protocol is powerful for medium importance decisions. Yes or no, go or no go, buy or do not buy. Eliminate the middle ground. Eliminate the maybe zone. Maybe is decision purgatory. It keeps the question open. It burns background processing power. Force yourself to decide quickly on anything that is not critical. This does not mean being reckless. It means recognizing that most decisions are reversible and the cost of a wrong choice is less than the cost of prolonged deliberation. The high-value decisions, the ones that actually matter, deserve your full cognitive capacity. Strategic business moves, major purchases, relationship decisions, creative direction. These should be made when your decision budget is full. This means making them in the morning after rest, when your prefrontal cortex is fresh. Do not make important decisions at night. Do not make them when you are stressed. Do not make them when you are hungry or tired. The quality of your decisions is directly tied to your cognitive state. The input reduction is critical. Every piece of information you consume is a potential decision point. Every article gives you something to evaluate. Every opinion gives you something to agree or disagree with. Every option presented requires processing. When you reduce information input, you reduce decision load. This is why successful people often seem out of touch. They are not consuming every news cycle. They are not reading every article. They are not evaluating every trend. They are preserving their decision budget for their own priorities. The delegation principle extends beyond tasks. You can delegate decisions. Give your team the authority to decide without consulting you, set parameters, and let them operate within those boundaries. Every decision you do not have to make is energy conserved. Micromanagement is not just inefficient for your team, it is suicidal for your decision budget. You cannot build an empire if you are spending your cognitive fuel approving minor choices. The hell yes or no filter is transformative. When evaluating opportunities, If it is not a hell yes, it is a no. This eliminates the gray zone. You do not have to deliberate. You do not have to weigh pros and cons. If you are not immediately excited, decline. This seems extreme, but it protects your energy in two ways. It reduces decisions, and it ensures you only commit to things that deserve your full engagement. Lukewarm commitments are double draining. They take time, and they deplete energy because you are forcing yourself to do something you do not really want to do. The scheduled decision time is useful for accumulated small decisions. Instead of making tiny choices throughout the day, batch them. Set aside 30 minutes to handle all the minor decisions that have accumulated. Should I buy this? Should I attend that? Should I respond to this email? Handle them all at once. This contains the cognitive cost to one time block instead of letting it leak throughout your day. The energy tracking correlation is revealing. Track your decision-making patterns and your energy levels. You will notice that days with fewer decisions are days with more energy. Days where you agonized over choices are days you ended exhausted. This feedback loop will train you to value decision reduction. You will start to see every trivial choice as theft from your reservoir. You will become ruthless about systemizing and eliminating. The paradox is that reducing choices increases freedom. You think having infinite options makes you free. But actually, infinite options create paralysis and drain. When you narrow your options consciously, when you create structure and routine, you liberate your cognitive capacity for genuine creativity and strategic thinking. The artist does not have infinite canvas options. The constraint of the frame creates focus. The decision budget works the same way. Constrain the trivial to unleash the significant. This is the sixth seal. Automate the mundane. Systemize the routine. Eliminate trivial decisions. Save your decision budget for choices that actually matter. Stop bleeding cognitive fuel on what to wear, what to eat, and which route to take. Preserve your willpower for your mission. This is not rigidity, this is strategy. This is how you ensure your best thinking is available for your best work. This is how the reservoir remains full. Chapter 7. The posture of power. Your body is an electrical system. Energy flows through channels, meridians, fascial pathways, neural networks. When these channels are open and aligned, energy flows freely. When they are compressed or kinked, resistance increases. Your posture determines the resistance level in your system. Slouch and you are like a kinked garden hose. Water can still flow, but the pressure is weak. Align your spine and you become a straight pipe. Full pressure, full flow. This is not metaphor. This is biomechanics and bioelectricity. Watch how people sit. Shoulders rolled forward, head jutting ahead, spine curved into a C shape. This is the modern default posture, shaped by screens and chairs. It is also the posture of defeat, the posture of submission, the posture of low energy. When you compress your chest cavity, you reduce lung capacity. Less oxygen means less ATP production, less energy. When you compress your spine, you impinge nerves. Signals do not flow cleanly. The body operates in a state of constant low-grade malfunction. The cost is measurable. Studies show that slouched posture reduces lung capacity by up to 30%. Your cells are running on 70% oxygen. They cannot produce energy efficiently. They cannot clear waste products. You accumulate metabolic debt. This manifests as fatigue, brain fog, and reduced performance. You think you need more coffee. What you actually need is to open your chest and breathe fully. But you cannot breathe fully in a collapsed posture. The structure determines the function. Posture affects psychology directly. Research demonstrates that holding an expansive, upright posture for 2 minutes increases testosterone and reduces cortisol. You become more confident and less stressed simply by changing your geometry. The reverse is also true. Collapsed posture increases cortisol and decreases testosterone. You become more anxious and less assertive. Your external shape is sending signals to your internal chemistry. If you hold the shape of defeat, your body produces the chemistry of defeat. The tension pattern is equally draining. Most people carry chronic tension in their jaw, neck, and shoulders. This tension is like having the parking brake on while driving. You are using energy just to maintain the tension. You are burning fuel to hold yourself tight. This is not protection. This is energy hemorrhage. The tight jaw alone can burn hundreds of calories per day in pure wasted muscular contraction. That fuel could be powering your brain. Instead, it is feeding chronic tension. The forward head posture is particularly insidious. For every inch your head moves forward from neutral, it adds 10 pounds of effective weight on your neck and shoulders. Most people's heads are 3 to 4 inches forward. Their neck and shoulder muscles are supporting 30 to 40 extra pounds all day long. This is exhausting. It creates tension headaches. It reduces blood flow to the brain. It compresses the thoracic outlet where nerves and blood vessels pass. Your entire upper body is in a state of chronic strain. The vertical alignment protocol is simple, but requires consistent practice. Stand with your back against a wall. Heels, buttocks, shoulder blades, and back of head should all touch the wall. This is neutral spine. This is vertical alignment. It will feel unnatural at first because your body has adapted to the collapsed position. Your tight chest muscles will resist. Your weak back muscles will fatigue. This discomfort is feedback. It is showing you how far you have deviated from optimal structure. Practice this position daily. Hold it for 5 minutes. Let your body remember what alignment feels like. Then practice maintaining it as you move through your day. Sitting, standing, walking. Constantly bringing yourself back to vertical. At first it requires conscious effort. Over time it becomes automatic. Your body recalibrates. The alignment becomes your new default. And with that alignment comes a noticeable increase in available energy. The breath is inseparable from posture. In collapsed posture, you cannot breathe deeply. You are limited to shallow chest breathing. This activates the sympathetic nervous system, the stress response. Your body thinks it is under threat because shallow breathing is the breath pattern of fear and danger. When you open your posture, you can breathe diaphragmatically, deep belly breathing. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. Your body relaxes. Energy is conserved instead of spent on stress response. The sitting epidemic must be addressed. Sitting is not neutral. Sitting compresses the hip flexors, which tilts the pelvis, which collapses the spine, which compresses the organs, which reduces function across the board. The solution is not just better sitting, it is less sitting. Stand more, walk more. If you must sit for work, sit on the edge of the chair with your spine vertical, not collapsed back into the chair. Or better yet, alternate between sitting and standing throughout the day. The jaw release is crucial. The jaw is a major tension storage site. Clench your jaw right now and notice how it affects your whole body. Tension radiates down your neck, into your shoulders, into your core. Now, release your jaw. Let your teeth slightly separate. Let your tongue rest on the roof of your mouth. Feel the cascade of relaxation. This simple release can save enormous energy. Practice keeping your jaw relaxed throughout the day. Every time you notice tension, release it. This becomes a mindfulness practice that also conserves fuel. The shoulder reset is equally important. Most people have shoulders that are rolled forward and elevated toward the ears. This creates chronic tension in the trapezius and neck muscles. The correction: roll your shoulders up, back, and down. This opens the chest and releases the neck. Do this reset every hour. It takes 5 seconds. It breaks the tension pattern before it accumulates into pain and energy drain. The eyes are part of the postural system. When you stare at a screen, your eyes are locked in a fixed focal distance. This creates tension in the small muscles around the eyes. This tension radiates into the face, jaw, and neck. The practice: every 20 minutes, look away from the screen. Look at something distant. Let your eyes soften. Let the focal lock release. This reduces eye strain and reduces the whole body tension that accompanies it. The walking reset is powerful. Most people walk with collapsed posture, head down, shuffling steps. This reinforces the low energy state. Practice walking with vertical spine, shoulders back, head up, purposeful stride. Feel the difference. You are not just moving through space more efficiently. You are signaling to your nervous system that you are strong, confident, and energized. The body believes the signal and produces the corresponding chemistry. The gravitational relationship matters. Your body is designed to stand upright against gravity. When you align with gravity, it supports you. When you fight gravity with collapsed posture, it compresses you. Alignment makes you lighter. Misalignment makes you heavy. The tired feeling you have at the end of the day is partly gravitational compression, accumulated over hours of poor posture. Reset your alignment, and you reset your energy. The transformation is often rapid. People report feeling 20% more energized simply from correcting their posture for a few days. They breathe better. They think clearer. They feel more confident. This is not placebo. This is removing a major source of chronic energy drain. The body was burning fuel to maintain dysfunction. Remove the dysfunction and the fuel becomes available for better uses. This is the seventh seal. Stand tall. Open the chest. Align the spine. Release the jaw. Drop the shoulders. Let energy flow through an open channel instead of a kinked hose. This is not vanity. This is engineering. This is reducing resistance in the system so power can move freely. This is how you stop the postural leak. This is how you reclaim the energy that was being wasted on chronic tension and compression. This is how the reservoir stays full. Chapter 8. The Seal of Silence. Words are expensive. Every time you speak, you release energy into the world. Sometimes this is necessary. Strategic communication, teaching, leading, connecting. But most speaking is waste. Explaining yourself to people who did not ask. Defending decisions that need no defense. Filling silence because silence makes you uncomfortable. Gossiping about people who are not present. Each word is a leak. Each unnecessary sentence drains the reservoir. The person who speaks the most is often the weakest. They are hemorrhaging power through their mouth. Notice the powerful. They speak less. When they do speak, people listen because the words carry weight. This weight comes from accumulation. They have been conserving their speech. When they finally release words, those words are pressurized. They land with impact. Compare this to the chronic talker who speaks constantly. Their words have no weight because they have no pressure behind them. They are bleeding energy continuously. Nothing accumulates. Nothing builds. They are weak precisely because they cannot contain. The over-explanation is a particular form of weakness. When you feel compelled to justify every action, to explain every decision, to defend every choice, you are giving away your sovereignty. You are asking permission. You are seeking approval. You are trading your power for validation. Powerful people do not explain themselves unless strategically necessary. They act, they move, they decide, and they let the results speak. Silence in the face of questioning is not rudeness. It is strength. It says, I do not need your understanding or approval. The gossip leak is catastrophic. When you speak about people who are not present, you create energetic entanglement. You are thinking about them. They are thinking about you. You have created a connection that drains both parties. Moreover, gossip degrades your own character. You become known as someone who cannot be trusted. People withhold real information from you because they know it will be broadcast. You become isolated precisely because you could not contain. The temporary thrill of sharing drama is not worth the long-term cost to your reputation and your reservoir. The social pressure to speak is enormous. Silence is misinterpreted as hostility or disinterest. People demand your input, your opinion, your commentary. If you do not provide it, they take offense. But their offense is not your problem. Your energy is your problem. You must become comfortable being misunderstood. You must become comfortable with people being uncomfortable with your silence. This is the price of power. The herd chatters constantly. The lion observes silently and moves decisively. The practice of the silent hour is foundational. 1 hour per day of absolute silence. No speaking, no music, no podcasts, no input, just silence. This is not punishment. This is pressurization. When you stop releasing energy through speech and sound, it accumulates. Pressure builds. At first, the hour will feel long. Your mind will generate urgent reasons why you need to speak or listen to something. These are just the voice of the leak trying to maintain itself. Ignore them. Sit in the silence. Let the energy build. The silent hour reveals how much of your speech is compulsive. You speak not because you have something valuable to say, but because you are uncomfortable with silence. You fill space. You perform sociability. You seek connection through noise. When you remove the option to speak, you see the machinery clearly. You see the anxiety driving the compulsion. You see the emptiness you are trying to fill with words. This awareness is the beginning of mastery. After the silent hour becomes comfortable, extend it. Try a silent morning. Wake up and do not speak for the first 3 hours of your day. No small talk, no phone calls, no voice messages. Just silent focus on your priorities. You will notice your thinking is clearer. Your focus is sharper. Your energy is higher. This is because you have not bled it out through your mouth, you have conserved it. The pressure has built. You are operating at higher voltage. The strategic speech protocol is the complement to silence. When you do speak, speak with intention. Before opening your mouth, ask yourself, is this necessary? Is this valuable? Is this the right time and person? If the answer to any of these is no, stay silent. This filter eliminates 90% of unnecessary speech. What remains is high-impact communication. Your words begin to carry weight because they are rare and considered. The emotional blurting is pure drain. Something triggers you, and you must respond immediately. You must share your outrage, you must express your opinion, you must make sure everyone knows how you feel. This is energy hemorrhage. The emotion surges, and you release it through speech instead of transmuting it into fuel. Learn to sit with the emotion, feel it, let it build, then channel it into focused action rather than scattered words. This is alchemy. This is how you convert emotional energy into creative power. The complaining is particularly toxic. When you complain, you are rehearsing your powerlessness. You are telling yourself and others that you are a victim of circumstances. This becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your nervous system hears your complaints and produces the chemistry of helplessness. Your reservoir drains because you are spending energy on problems rather than solutions. The rule is simple. Do not speak about a problem unless you are willing to take action to solve it. Otherwise, you are just bleeding energy into the void. The teaching without asking is another leak. You see someone struggling and you feel compelled to share your wisdom, but they did not ask. They are not ready. Your advice falls on deaf ears and you have wasted your breath. The wise wait to be asked. They hold their knowledge until someone demonstrates readiness by seeking it. Then the teaching lands. Then it transforms. Throwing wisdom at people who are not ready is like pouring water into a bucket with no bottom. Pointless expenditure. The written word as a container is powerful. If you must express something, write it down rather than speaking it. Writing forces you to organize your thoughts. It creates a container for the energy. You get the benefit of expression without the energetic release of speech. The words stay in the system, they accumulate. Later, when you choose to share the writing strategically, it has weight and power because it was distilled and contained rather than bled out in rambling speech. The phone conversation is a particular vulnerability. The phone invites endless talking because there is no visual feedback to create natural pauses. People talk more on the phone than they would in person. This is drain. Keep phone calls short and purposeful. State your business, get the information, end the call. Do not use the phone for social chatter unless you consciously choose to invest energy in that relationship. Default to text for low-priority communication. It creates natural brevity. The group dynamics are interesting. In groups, there is pressure to contribute to conversation. Silence can be interpreted as not participating, but actual participation is not about speaking. It is about presence. You can be fully engaged while speaking minimally. Listen actively, make eye contact, nod understanding. When you do speak, make it count. One powerful sentence is worth more than 10 minutes of filler. Quality over quantity applies to speech as much as anything else. The gravitas that develops from practiced silence is palpable. People begin to treat you differently. They listen more carefully when you speak. They do not interrupt. They seek your opinion because it is not freely given. They respect your boundaries because you have demonstrated that your attention and your words are valuable. This is not aloofness. This is self-respect. and self-respect is magnetic. It draws people toward you while simultaneously filtering out those who would drain you. This is the 8th seal. Guard your speech. Speak less. Listen more. Practice silence daily. Let the pressure build. Stop bleeding energy through unnecessary words. Stop explaining yourself to people who do not matter. Stop filling silence with noise. Become comfortable with the power of restraint. Let your presence speak louder than your words. This is how you accumulate gravitas. This is how you seal the vessel. This is how the reservoir fills with potent pressurized energy that makes you magnetic and formidable. Chapter 9. Nature as a charger. The human body is an electrical system. Your nervous system operates on voltage gradients. Your cells maintain electrical potential across their membranes. Your heart is a bioelectric pump. Your brain is an electromagnetic field generator. You are not just made of chemicals, you are made of charge. And like any electrical system, you accumulate static. Inflammation is partly electrical. Stress is partly electrical. The constant exposure to artificial electromagnetic fields from Wi-Fi, phones, and screens creates electrical chaos in your system. You need to discharge this static and recharge your core voltage. Nature is the grounding wire. Modern life surrounds you with positive ions. Electronics generate them. Air conditioning systems generate them. Pollution generates them. These positive ions create a charge imbalance in your body. You accumulate excess positive charge, which correlates with inflammation, anxiety, and fatigue. Nature, particularly moving water and trees, generates negative ions. These negative ions neutralize the excess positive charge. They restore electrical balance. This is not mysticism. This is atmospheric chemistry and bioelectrical physics. You need negative ions to function optimally, and you are not getting them indoors. The practice of earthing, also called grounding, is direct electrical contact with the earth. When you walk barefoot on grass, sand, or soil, you are connecting your body's electrical system to the earth's electrical field. The earth has a slight negative charge. Your body, full of positive charge from modern life, discharges the excess through your feet. Studies show that grounding reduces inflammation, improves sleep, reduces cortisol, and improves heart rate variability. This is not placebo. This is measurable electrical discharge. The mechanism is simple. Your body has a mild positive charge from accumulated free radicals and electronic exposure. The Earth has unlimited free electrons due to lightning strikes and solar radiation constantly hitting the planet. When you make direct contact with the Earth, electrons flow from the Earth into your body, neutralizing free radicals and reducing inflammation. This is why you feel so good walking barefoot on a beach. You are literally discharging stress and absorbing healing electrons. The forest effect is well documented. The Japanese practice forest bathing, spending time in forests for health benefits. Research shows it lowers blood pressure, reduces cortisol, improves immune function, and increases natural killer cell activity. The mechanism involves several factors. Trees emit phytoncides, organic compounds that boost your immune system. The negative ions are abundant. The fractal patterns of trees and leaves reduce mental fatigue. The green color itself has calming effects on the nervous system. Simply being in a forest rewires your stress response. Water is particularly powerful. Moving water, waterfalls, ocean waves, rivers, and streams generate massive amounts of negative ions. This is why the beach is healing. This is why waterfall hikes feel transformative. The air around moving water is electrically charged with negative ions that neutralize your positive charge. 20 minutes near a waterfall can reset your nervous system for days. The effect is immediate and tangible. You feel lighter, clearer, more energized. This is electrical rebalancing in action. The sun connection is essential. Your body produces vitamin D from sun exposure. But that is only one mechanism. Sunlight also sets your circadian rhythm through your eyes. It triggers serotonin production. It provides infrared light that penetrates tissues and increases mitochondrial function. Your cells literally produce more energy when exposed to natural light. Indoor lighting, even bright indoor lighting, is a fraction of the intensity and spectrum of sunlight. You are living in dimness, and your cells are energy-starved because of it. The practice protocol is straightforward. Get outside for at least 30 minutes daily, barefoot if possible. On grass, dirt or sand, let your skin touch the earth, feel the discharge. If you can access water, even better. Swim in the ocean, wade in a river, stand near a waterfall. The more direct contact with nature, the better. This is not recreation. This is bioelectric maintenance. Think of it as plugging into a charger. You are recharging your biological battery. The indoor mitigation is necessary because most people spend 90% of their time indoors. You cannot always be outside, but you can reduce the electrical chaos indoors. Turn off Wi-Fi at night. Keep your phone in airplane mode when not actively using it. Remove electronics from your bedroom. Use a grounding mat or grounding sheet that connects to the earth port of your electrical outlet. These mats conduct the Earth's electrons into your body while you sleep or work, providing some of the benefits of earthing indoors. The metal elimination reduces electrical disruption. Metal jewelry, especially watches and rings, can interfere with your body's electrical field. Metal dental fillings can create galvanic currents in your mouth. Metal-framed beds can act as antennas for electromagnetic fields. This sounds extreme, but people report significant improvements in sleep and energy after removing unnecessary metal from their environment. Your body is an electrical system. Metal conducts electricity. Reducing metal reduces interference. The seasonal alignment matters. Winter light is different from summer light. Winter days are shorter. Your circadian rhythm should shift. You should sleep more in winter. You should be less active. You should conserve energy like animals do. Instead, modern life demands the same schedule year-round. This creates seasonal misalignment, which manifests as seasonal depression and energy crashes. Honor the seasons. Adjust your schedule. Give yourself permission to slow down when nature slows down. The mountain reset is particularly potent. High altitude, clean air, low electromagnetic interference, abundant negative ions, intense sunlight. Mountains are bioelectric sanctuaries. If you live near mountains, use them. Regular mountain hikes provide a level of electrical reset that is difficult to achieve elsewhere. If you do not live near mountains, seek elevation when you can. Even small hills provide benefits. Get above the electromagnetic soup of valleys and cities. Let your system recalibrate in cleaner, energetic space. The ocean immersion is unmatched. Salt water is conductive. Swimming in the ocean provides full-body electrical contact with a massive ground. The magnesium in seawater absorbs through your skin. The wave action provides rhythmic sensory input that entrains your nervous system to a calmer state. The negative ions from the waves are abundant. 20 minutes in the ocean can reset your system more completely than days of other interventions. If you live near the coast, use this resource regularly. If you do not, make it a priority when you can. The plant connection in your living space helps. Indoor plants improve air quality, but they also provide a small source of negative ions and a visual reminder of nature. The presence of living things in your environment reduces stress. This is biophilia, the human need for connection with other living systems. Fill your space with plants. Care for them. This is not just decoration. This is creating a more biologically appropriate environment. Your nervous system relaxes when nature is present, even if it is just a potted plant. The wildlife observation has surprising benefits. Watching birds, observing animals, even watching fish in an aquarium reduces stress and improves mood. This is your primitive brain recognizing the natural world. Your nervous system has evolved over millions of years in nature with animals. It is soothed by their presence. It is activated by their absence. You are living in an unnatural environment. Bringing elements of the natural world into your awareness reduces the stress of this disconnection. This is the 9th seal. Return to nature regularly. Touch the earth with your bare skin. Stand near moving water. Walk in forests. Swim in the ocean. Let the sun touch your face. Discharge the accumulated electrical chaos of modern life. Absorb the healing electrons and negative ions of the natural world. Your body knows this place. Your cells remember this environment. This is your original operating system. Reconnect with it. Let it recharge your biological battery. This is how you restore the voltage that screens and cities drain. This is how the reservoir fills from the source. Chapter: The Focused Beam. Attention is light. Scattered attention is a flashlight, illuminating a little bit of everything and accomplishing nothing. Focused attention is a laser, burning through steel. The difference between mediocrity and mastery is not talent. It is not luck. It is concentration. The ability to bring all of your power to bear on a single point until that point yields. Most people never develop this ability. They spend their entire lives with the flashlight, wondering why they cannot penetrate anything meaningful. The modern world has declared war on focus. Every platform, every app, every device is engineered to fragment your attention. Notifications, alerts, updates, messages, feeds. The continuous partial attention that we have normalized is the opposite of the deep focus required for excellence. You are constantly switching contexts, constantly being interrupted, constantly scattering your power. The result is you accomplish a lot of shallow work and no deep work. You stay busy but never break through. The switching cost is brutal. When you shift your attention from one task to another, your brain does not immediately follow. Part of your processing power remains on the previous task. This is called attention residue. It takes an average of 23 minutes to achieve full focus on a new task after an interruption. If you are interrupted every 10 minutes, you never achieve full focus. You spend your entire day in a state of partial engagement. Your work quality suffers. Your energy drains faster. You end the day exhausted despite accomplishing little of value. The flow state is the holy grail of performance. Athletes call it the zone. Creatives call it flow. Mystics call it samadhi. It is the state where action and awareness merge, where effort becomes effortless, where time disappears, where you produce your best work with the least energy expenditure. This state is not rare, it is not mysterious. It is simply what happens when you maintain uninterrupted focus for at least 90 minutes on a single challenging task. But you cannot reach it if you check your phone every 10 minutes. The physiological mechanism is measurable. In flow state, your prefrontal cortex, the critical voice, the self-monitoring function, temporarily deactivates. This allows the rest of your brain to work without interference. Dopamine, norepinephrine, anabolic endorphins, and serotonin flood your system. Time perception changes because the brain region that tracks time goes offline. You become a pure processing machine, executing at peak capacity. This is not supernatural. This is optimal brain function, and it requires one thing: extended focus without interruption. The protocol is simple but difficult in execution. Block 2 to 4 hours of completely uninterrupted time. No phone, no email, no notifications, no interruptions. One task, nothing else. This is your deep work block. This is where you do the work that actually moves your life forward. Everything else, all the responding and checking and updating, that is shallow work. It can be done later in batches. The deep work must be protected like sacred time because it is sacred. It is where the value is created. The task selection matters. Not every task deserves a deep work block. Administration does not. Email does not. Social media management does not. These are shallow tasks that can be done with scattered attention. Deep work blocks are for cognitively demanding tasks: writing, coding, strategy, creation, learning, problem solving. The work that requires your full intellectual capacity. The work that compounds, the work that builds your future. This is what goes in the deep work blocks. Everything else is filler. The environment must support focus. Remove all distractions from your workspace. No visible phone. No open browser tabs except what you need for the task. No background noise unless it actively helps your focus. Some people work well with instrumental music. Some need silence. Find what works for you and create that environment. Treat your deep workspace like a laboratory. Everything is arranged to support the experiment of focus. Nothing is left to chance or tolerance. The ritual creates the transition. Your brain needs a signal that focus time is beginning. Create a consistent pre-work ritual. Make coffee, sit in the same chair, open the same program, play the same song. Whatever the ritual, keep it consistent. Over time, your brain learns that this sequence of actions means focus time begins. The ritual triggers the mental state. You enter focus faster and more reliably. This is classical conditioning applied to productivity. The duration must challenge, but not overwhelm. Start with 60 minutes if you have never done this. 1 uninterrupted hour on a single task. When that becomes comfortable, extend to 90 minutes, then 2 hours, then 4. Some people can maintain deep focus for 6 to 8 hours with breaks, but this is advanced. Start where you can sustain it. The goal is consistency, not heroics. 1 focused hour every day compounds into extraordinary results. 8 scattered hours accomplish far less. The break structure prevents burnout. You cannot maintain deep focus indefinitely. After 90 to 120 minutes, your glucose levels drop. Your focus degrades. The solution is not to push through. It is to take a real break, not a check your phone break, not a scroll social media break, a real break. Walk outside, do push-ups, sit in silence, let your brain rest. 15 minutes of actual rest restores your capacity for another deep work block. Trying to power through degradation leads to shallow work disguised as persistence. The phone discipline is non-negotiable. Your phone is the enemy of focus. Even having it visible creates distraction. Even having it in the room creates temptation. During deep work blocks, the phone must be in another room, on airplane mode, or powered off. You will feel anxiety at first. The FOMO will scream. This is addiction withdrawal. Ignore it. The anxiety passes. The focus emerges. Your brain remembers how to concentrate when the dopamine slot machine is removed. The email batching is crucial. Email is designed to fragment attention. Each message is a context switch. The solution is not to be more responsive. It is to batch email into 2 or 3 scheduled sessions per day. Check email at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. Respond to everything at once. Then close the program. Do not keep your inbox open. Do not check reactively. Treat email like postal mail. It arrives at certain times, you process it at certain times. The rest of the time you are unavailable. This reclaims hours of focus time. The social media quarantine is necessary. There is no such thing as just checking quickly. Social media is designed to capture and hold attention. Even a quick check creates attention residue that contaminates the next hour of your work. The only solution is complete removal during work hours. Use website blockers. Delete apps from your phone. Make it impossible to access during deep work time. This sounds extreme. It is necessary. Your focus is worth more than any feed. The single-tasking discipline transforms everything. Humans cannot multitask. What we call multitasking is rapid task switching, and every switch carries a cost. The solution is ruthless single-tasking. 1 task at a time, 1 window open, 1 project active. Complete it, or reach a natural stopping point before moving to the next. This feels slower at first. It is actually faster. You complete tasks fully instead of pushing them forward repeatedly. The quality increases, the energy expenditure decreases. Focus creates speed. Fragmentation creates delay. The measurement creates accountability. Track your deep work hours. Use a simple log. How many hours of uninterrupted single-task focus did you achieve today? This number should be your primary productivity metric. Not hours worked, not emails answered, not meetings attended, deep work hours. This is the only metric that correlates with real value creation. When you measure it, you optimize for it. When you optimize for it, your output transforms. The transformation from scattered to focused is profound. Your work quality increases exponentially. You start finishing projects that languished for months. You solve problems that seemed intractable. You create output that surprises you. This is not because you became smarter or more talented. It is because you finally brought your full capacity to bear. You stopped scattering your power. You became the laser instead of the flashlight. You pierced through instead of skating across the surface. This is the 10th seal. Focus your attention like a weapon. Eliminate distractions ruthlessly. Protect your deep work time like a dragon guards its gold. Single task with discipline. Let yourself enter flow. Stop fragmenting your power across a dozen simultaneous activities. Concentrate, burn through, achieve depth. This is where the real work happens. This is where the reservoir's power is applied. This is how you transform accumulated energy into tangible achievement. This is the focused beam. Chapter 9th, the overflow. What happens when you seal the vessel? When you stop the leaks? When you guard your attention, resist the digital vampires, close the open loops, deflect the drama, conserve your sexual energy, minimize decisions, align your posture, practice silence, recharge in nature, and focus your beam. The reservoir fills, pressure builds, voltage accumulates, and then something remarkable happens. You overflow. This overflow is not something you do. It is something that happens when you are full. It is effortless. It is automatic. It is inevitable. This overflow is what people call presence. It is what they sense when you walk into a room and the energy shifts. It is what makes people listen when you speak, even if you speak rarely. It is what draws opportunities toward you without you chasing them. It is what makes people want to be near you, even if they cannot articulate why. This is not charisma as performance. This is charisma as consequence. You are full. The fullness radiates. People feel it. The mechanism is simple. Most people are depleted. They are leaking faster than they are filling. They are energy-seeking. They are unconsciously searching for someone or something to recharge them. When they encounter someone who is full, someone who is overflowing, they are drawn to that person like plants to sunlight. They do not know why. They just know being around you feels good. You are radiating the energy they are lacking. You are the lighthouse in their storm. This is not manipulation. This is not technique. This is physics. You have stopped dissipating and started accumulating. The accumulated energy must go somewhere. It cannot stay contained indefinitely. It overflows naturally. Some of it radiates as presence. Some of it manifests as productivity. Some of it appears as synchronicity and luck. But it is not luck. It is the natural result of high voltage. High voltage attracts. High voltage creates. High voltage transforms. You have become a force of nature. The giving becomes effortless. When you are depleted, giving feels like sacrifice. Every act of generosity costs you something you cannot afford. Every favor drains you. Every helping hand leaves you weaker. But when you are full, giving is overflow. You give from your surplus, not your reserves. You help without depletion. You contribute without cost. In fact, the giving itself feels good because it is releasing pressure. Like a river flowing to the sea, the movement is natural and inevitable. The confidence is unshakable. When you are depleted, you need external validation. You need people to affirm you because you do not have internal reserves to draw on. But when you are full, validation becomes irrelevant. You know your value because you feel your power. You carry evidence in your own nervous system. The full reservoir is its own proof. You do not need anyone to confirm what you already know. This is not arrogance, this is sufficiency. The opportunities multiply. Success is not about working harder. It is about working from a higher energy state. When you are depleted, you repel opportunity. People sense your desperation. They sense your neediness. They avoid you. But when you are full, you attract opportunity. People want to collaborate with you. They want to invest in you. They want to be associated with you, not because you are trying to attract them, but because your overflow signals capacity. You are a rising tide. Others want to rise with you. The creative output explodes. When your reservoir is low, creation is grinding. You sit at the blank page and nothing comes. You stare at the canvas and see nothing. You feel blocked. But when the reservoir is full, creation pours out. Ideas come faster than you can capture them. Solutions appear fully formed. The work flows. This is not inspiration striking randomly. This is overflow finding channels. The pressure must release. Creation is one release valve. When you are full, you cannot not create. The health improves. When you are chronically depleted, your body is in constant stress mode. Your immune system is suppressed. Inflammation is high. Sleep is poor. Aging accelerates. But when you stop the leaks and fill the reservoir, the body shifts into healing mode. The nervous system relaxes. Inflammation drops. Sleep deepens. Cellular repair accelerates. You look younger, you feel stronger. This is not cosmetic, this is systemic optimization. A full reservoir allows the body to do what it is designed to do, maintain and repair itself. The relationships transform. When you are depleted, relationships are transactional. You need something from people. Energy, validation, entertainment, relief from loneliness. This creates needy dynamics. People feel your extraction. They resist. But when you are full, you do not need anything from anyone. You show up complete. This paradoxically makes people want to give to you. They feel safe around you because you are not trying to take from them. They relax. They open. Deep connection becomes possible because neither party is defending their reservoir. The fear dissolves. Most fear is rooted in scarcity. Fear of not having enough, not being enough, not doing enough. Fear is the voice of the empty reservoir, but when the reservoir is full, fear has no ground. You know you have what you need. You feel your capacity. You trust your resources. This does not mean you become reckless, it means you become courageous. Courage is not absence of fear. Courage is acting despite fear. And acting despite fear is far easier when your reservoir is full. The discipline becomes preference. When you are depleted, discipline is forcing yourself to do what you do not want to do. It is willpower, it is grinding, it is exhausting. But when you are full, what was once discipline becomes preference. You want to protect your focus because you feel the cost of distraction. You want to practice silence because you feel the power of containment. You want to ground in nature because you feel the reset. The sealed vessel is not a prison, it is a palace. You are not restricting yourself, you are honoring yourself. The purpose clarifies. When you are scattered and depleted, you do not know what you want. You are too busy surviving to envision thriving. But when the reservoir fills, vision emerges. You see clearly what you are here to build, what you are meant to create, what you are designed to contribute. This is not external purpose given to you. This is internal purpose, revealed by fullness. The overflow knows where to go. The pressure finds its proper channel. You stop wondering what your purpose is, you start living it. The peace descends, not the peace of having nothing to do, the peace of having energy to meet what must be done, the peace of not being at war with yourself, the peace of alignment between your values and your actions, the peace of integrity, the peace of knowing you are not wasting your one life on trivia and distraction. This peace is not passive, it is dynamic. It is the peace of a powerful river, moving with purpose but not agitation. This is what overflow feels like. This is what fullness creates. The overflow is not the goal. The overflow is the sign that you have achieved the goal. The goal is the sealed vessel. The goal is the full reservoir. The overflow is proof that you have succeeded. When you feel it, when you notice people responding to you differently, when opportunities appear, when creativity flows, when giving feels effortless, you know you have done the work. You have plugged the leaks. You have filled the vessel. You have become the reservoir you were always meant to be. This is the 11th seal. Let yourself be full. Let yourself overflow. Do not be modest about your power. Do not diminish your capacity. Do not leak to make others comfortable. Stand in your fullness. Let it radiate, let it attract, let it create. You are not taking from others by being full. You are showing others what is possible. You are the proof that the leaks can be sealed, that the reservoir can be filled. That overflow is natural when you stop the hemorrhage. Be the lighthouse, be the generator, be the force. Epilogue, the sealed vessel. You are exhausted because you are leaking, not because you need more input. Not because you lack vitamins or sleep or willpower. You are hemorrhaging power through 1,000 invisible wounds, and no amount of coffee or optimization will compensate for the loss. The solution has always been simple. Stop the bleeding, seal the vessel. Let the reservoir fill, let the pressure build. Become the force you were designed to be. This manual has shown you the leaks, the attention you scatter, the drama you absorb, the decisions you waste on trivia, the sexual energy you dissipate, the digital vampires you feed, the open loops you maintain, the collapsed posture you hold, the compulsive speech you cannot contain, the disconnection from nature you normalize, the scattered focus you accept. Each one is a crack in your vessel. Each one bleeds you dry, and together they keep you depleted, weak, scattered, and powerless. The Reservoir Codex is not another self-help book. It is a diagnostic manual and a repair protocol. It has shown you precisely where you are broken and exactly how to fix it. The work is not complex, it is simple. But simple is not easy. You will resist, your patterns will fight back. The leaks have momentum, they have become your normal. Changing them will require vigilance, discipline, and a willingness to be uncomfortable as you break old habits and build new structures. But the payoff is immense. When you seal the vessel, when you stop the leaks, when you fill the reservoir, you become a different order of being. You operate at a different voltage. You move with a different gravity. People sense it. Opportunities find you. Creative power flows through you. Health improves, clarity emerges. Purpose reveals itself. You realize you were not broken. You were just leaking. And now the leak is sealed. The world will pressure you to keep leaking. The attention economy runs on your depletion. The entertainment industry feeds on your exhaustion. Social dynamics depend on your people-pleasing. Sexual culture profits from your dissipation. The entire architecture of modern life is designed to keep you drained, weak, and desperate for the next hit of dopamine. Sealing your vessel is an act of rebellion. It is saying no to the systems that farm you. It is reclaiming your sovereignty. It is choosing power over comfort. Understand that this is a practice, not a destination. You will leak again. You will scroll when you said you would not. You will absorb someone's drama. You will skip your grounding practice. You will over-explain yourself. The leaks will reappear. This is normal. This is not failure. This is the ongoing work of being human in a world designed to drain you. The practice is noticing the leaks quickly and sealing them again. The practice is returning to the protocols. The practice is choosing the reservoir over the leak, again and again every single day. Some seals will be easier for you, some will be harder. Maybe you have no problem with sexual restraint, but you cannot stop doom scrolling. Maybe silence comes naturally, but you have 30 open loops. Maybe your posture is perfect, but you never go outside. Start where you are. Pick the leak that is costing you the most and seal it first. Then move to the next. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to be better than yesterday. Progress compounds. Small seals accumulate into full containment. Be patient with yourself while being ruthless with the leaks. The transformation is not instant. It took years to develop these leaks. It will take time to seal them, but you will notice changes quickly. Within days of guarding your attention, you will think more clearly. Within a week of practicing silence, you will feel more powerful. Within a month of all the protocols, people will comment on your presence. Within 3 months, you will look back and barely recognize your former depleted self. The reservoir fills faster than you expect once you stop the hemorrhage. This is not esoteric wisdom for monks and mystics. This is practical metaphysics for anyone who wants to build something, create something, become something. You cannot do great work from a depleted state. You cannot lead from an empty reservoir. You cannot inspire others when you are barely surviving yourself. The sealed vessel is not optional if you want to operate at a high level. It is foundational. It is the platform from which all achievement launches. Fill the reservoir first. Everything else becomes possible after. The mandate is clear. Stop asking for more energy. Stop blaming your circumstances. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Start sealing the leaks. Start now, today, this moment. Pick one protocol from this codex and implement it immediately. Guard your attention for the next hour. Practice 20 minutes of silence. Ground outside for 15 minutes. Make one decision and close one loop. Small action, immediate implementation. The reservoir begins to fill with the first seal. Every seal after that builds the pressure higher. You have the knowledge, you have the protocols, you have the map. What you do with it determines everything. You can return to the leaks convinced that you are just tired and need more input, or you can seal the vessel, fill the reservoir, and discover what you are capable of when operating at full capacity. The choice is binary. Leak or seal, deplete or fill, scatter or concentrate, weakness or power. There is no middle ground. There is only the choice you make in every moment. Choose the reservoir. Choose the seal. Choose yourself. Plug the leak. Fill the reservoir. Become a force of nature. This is the work. This is the path. This is the Codex. The rest is execution. Go forth and seal the vessel. Let the world feel your overflow. You were meant to be full. You were designed to be powerful. You were built to be a generator, not a drain. Remember this. Return to this. Live this. The sealed vessel is your birthright. Claim it.